Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, Mushoku Tensei recap. I really wanted to get invested in this story, and recently I've really been enjoying getting invested through recaps, especially if it's a show that I am not willing to continue myself. And as many times as I've tried to pick up Mushoku Tensei, I never actually have. People say it's the greatest isekai of all time, and I will not get into it unless I actually watch something like this. So I have started Mushoku Tensei in the past. I actually started it twice. I watched the first 2 episodes, and then I stopped for like a while, and then I watched the first 2 episodes again, and I just couldn't get into it for some reason, even though I know it's supposed to be great. So we're jumping into Weak Boy's Reincarnated to Another World Becomes Overpowered Magician, which is literally every single isekai ever, but still, for some reason, even though it's this child getting reincarnated, all of a sudden gets a harem, gets OP. I just couldn't get into it the 2 times that I tried. So let's get into it. Let's see what we got here.
Jobless.
Let's see if this is a story that I can agree is one of the top tier isekais of all time. Let's see what we got.
A jobless, reclusive bum in his mid-30s gets hit by a truck in an attempt to save some high schoolers.
He's just like me.
After dying in the hospital, he gets reincarnated into another world as a newborn baby with all of his memories.
Which happens to so many characters. Like, at this point in the story, I was like, all right, I am already not impressed.
And perviness intact.
What the fuck, man? See, like, this scene was like, all right, this baby out here getting hard watching his parents kiss each other is like, this is not, no, bro.
The newly named Rudius then explores stuff around the house during a series of time skips until he can more or less walk on his feet. He then finds some books lying around in a treasure chest that he learns to read during the next year.
Sure. They immediately OP baby pervert. It's like, god damn. When this happened, I was like, all right, I know that everyone's saying that this isekai is great, but can I really get into this?
Basically a manual on how to use magic. Rudius, mostly called Rudy by his family, then tries his hand at magic and is able to cast
incredibly overpowered right away.
A beginner level spell without any incantations. He then starts training with his incantation-less magic until he destroys the window to his room with an
that animation was sick!
Intermediate level spell. Paul and Zenith come to investigate and find out about his aptitude for magic and thus decide to hire a magic tutor for him.
Who happens to be a hot girl.
The magic tutor, Roxy, turns out to be a bit shorter than expected and is really not thrilled to teach him magic. She tells Paul and Zenith, Rudy's parents, that many parents overestimate their children's abilities and think that just because they are a bit above average, they can be master magicians.
But surprise!
Roxy soon changes her opinion, however, as Rudy, in a noble attempt to look under her skirt.
In a noble attempt! Dude, I like this voice guy.
Accidentally cuts the incantation short, and his ability being able to do magic without incantation is found out. Roxy says that Rudy might be worth training after all. At the end of—
Listen, just because she's a 300-year-old lolly, that doesn't mean that it's cringe for her to love him.
The episode, Zenith calls Roxy and Rudy home for some lunch. Rudy begins his magic training under Roxy and is making some really steady
imagine having rich parents that actually love you.
Progress, as he already had the talent, and now he has a great teacher to help him apply all his talent. A year passes and Rudy learns some really advanced magic. On the other hand, Rudy's training with the sword isn't really going quite so well since he's getting thrashed over and over again by Paul. Paul is ranked advanced in all 3 of the swordsmanship styles.
That's rough, buddy.
Rudy's family holds a small
and one of the pervy MC, yeah, mega pervy main character
party
in this
for Rudy on his 5th birthday. Paul gives him a sword, Zenith gives him a book, and Roxy gives him a wand and tells him that it is gonna be his final lesson. The next day, Roxy tells Rudy that they need to go outside for the final demonstration. But Rudy doesn't want to go outside the house thanks to his trauma from his previous life.
He's just like me, for real.
Later, Roxy mocks Rudy.
Dude, do not try to explain to me how the overpowered isekai protagonist isn't just overpowered as a plot contrivance. Like, please, bro. Please. I'm not saying it's a bad story, but please.
Rudy for not wanting to go outside and motivates him that it is not as scary as he thinks he is. Rudy finally musters up some courage and with the help of Roxy, he's finally able to go outside. At field, Roxy causes a sacred class spell which causes a big thunderstorm. Rudy then uses his new wand and uses the same spell, even surpassing Roxy's original demonstration. Then Roxy
he OP.
tells him that he has officially graduated since she has nothing to teach him anymore.
Oh my god.
Roxy leaves the Greer household in an emotional farewell with Rudy. Later on, Rudy finds out that Roxy has left a box that contains her panties.
Wait, what? Nani? Best plot point? All right, listen.
Rudy says that he will—
The holy relic. Why is everyone calling it a holy relic?
Treasure that box forever and regularly starts praying to it. After Roxy helped Rudy get over his fear of going outside the house, Rudy started frequently going outside and touching some grass for once.
Finally!
One day, when Rudy was roaming outside, he saw some boys bullying a poor and dirty elf.
Oh man, a poor and dirty elf that's definitely gonna join his harem. Let's go.
At first,
it's such an isekai thing. It's an isekai character. Be me. Be overpowered. Randomly be strolling around. Find a poor, very sexy elf lady getting traumatized by being tortured / enslaved / transformed / brutally bullied. Save her with my riz. And that's it. The rest is history.
Rudy doesn't interrupt, but since he has been
what?
bullied by others himself before this, Rudy saves the boy in a roundabout way and uses his magic to clean his hair. The boy's hair is green, just like the feared demon tribe of Superds. But Rudy is relieved when he doesn't have a gem on his forehead. The boy tells him that his name is Sylph, and that he would love to learn magic.
The boy, huh?
Rudy agrees and often goes out with Sylph to teach him magic. Sylph makes some decent progress and—
Dude, listen, the reason why I don't expect this to be a male is not simply because every elf in isekai anime is just a harem member. No, I've seen the hentai.
Tells him that he would like to learn incantation-less magic too. Rudy agrees to teach him the trick, but doesn't believe that he can do it. Sylph pulls it off, and thus, Rudy's being the only one capable of that are shattered. A storm comes raining down on the pair, and Rudy takes him to his own home. A bath is ready for Rudy, and he tells Sylph to come with him. When he refuses,
FBI, open up!
Rudy forcibly takes off his clothes. It is then revealed that Sylph is in fact a girl. Completely taken aback by this, Rudy tries to apologize.
Why are they all standing here? Child, what is going on?
To her, but she just runs away. In the end, with Paul's guidance, Rudy and Sylph make up, and Rudy now plans to cherish his one new friend.
Very wholesome.
The Grey Rat family is celebrating as Zenith is pregnant again.
Let's
They're celebrating it together when Lilia reveals that she is pregnant too.
Let's go. What?
The happy atmosphere fades as she reveals that Paul is the father.
Oh my god, what? I thought this was like some happy-go-lucky story.
Paul apologizes for all of this fiasco. Zenith decides to kick Lilia out of the house and berates Paul for cheating on her.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Rudy senses the tense atmosphere as Lilia is—
Damn, he was able to sense the tense atmosphere at that? Jesus.
About to be kicked out and shifts all the blame on Paul, saying that Lilia cannot refuse his order since he is her employer. Paul sees what Rudy is doing and goes along with it. So Zenith decides to let Lilia stay. It is revealed, however, that Lilia is the one who had seduced Paul.
It's still totally Paul's fault, I'm just saying. It's her fault too, but it's mostly Paul's fault. If you cheat on your wife, it doesn't matter how many people are trying to seduce you. You should be able to stand up past that, all right? Sorry, homie.
And finally accepts him as part of the family. Before this, she was terrified of him and his pervy gaze, which she really should be. Paul gets a bit insecure about the fact that Rudy is really mature and he doesn't get to be a father for him. After 9 months, Norn and Aisha, his 2 little sisters, are born. Rudy then receives a letter from Roxy, which says that Rudy should go to a magic university when he gets 12 years old. Rudy is overjoyed, and when he tells Sophie about it, she says that she wants to go too. Sophie's family cannot afford it though, and when Rudy tells his family to pay for it, they refuse. Rudy then decides to take on a job to support himself and Sophie. Later on, Paul makes Rudy faint and puts him—
I am so confused—
in the carriage of his friend Ghislaine. When Rudy wakes up—
Oh god, Ghislaine! God damn, I hope I'm knocked out and put in Ghislaine's carriage.
From that peck on the head by Paul's sword,
damn, son.
Ghislaine gives him a letter written by Paul who dictates that since Rudy would just argue his way out of stuff, he forced this on him.
Oh my god, what a freaking dick.
The card is headed for the city of Roa, where he would be working at his cousin's house. He's not supposed to make any contact—
Bro, this girl, honest to God—
with Sylphie or home for the next 5 years, and he has to do this job if he wants to pay his own and Sylphie's dues for the university.
That's rough.
He also writes a lot about Ghislaine. He writes that he has—
all the characters that were introduced were just side characters to the absolute queen.
He has never been able to defeat her except in bed.
What? Say that again, please.
When they reach the city of Roa—
oh my god, what did that even— that came out of nowhere.
They find out that Rudy's job is to tutor their child. He is supposed to teach her magic and how to read and write.
Oh no.
Rudy is met with some very harsh reception from the girl named Eris, and she punches
that's underage.
him straight in the face the moment she meets him.
As an advocate of true gender equality, he should sock her right back.
Swallowing his pride, Rudy tells her father and grandfather that they should orchestrate a fake kidnapping scenario so that she can come to respect Rudy.
Oh my god, that is sociopathic.
They agree, and
they agree! They're just like, yes, down.
Kidnapping is arranged. However, one of Philip's servants is in cahoots with some real kidnappers, and they orchestrate a real kidnapping. Rudy and Eris escape, and despite not knowing what is going on, Rudy saves Eris multiple times. They reach
the tsundere starts to simp, and everything changes. It works just a bit too well.
The city somehow, but the kidnappers are still not gonna let go of them. But Rudy's magic is able to hold them off until Ghislaine arrives to save the day.
Let's freaking go, Ghislaine!
Eris accepts Rudy as her teacher, and as a sign of kinship.
God damn, these tsunderes, they really pop up everywhere, don't they? These tsunderes show up everywhere.
She tells him to call her by her given name instead of my lady. Philip thanks Rudy for saving Eris, as they did not expect the situation to become like that. He also tells him not to tell anyone else about his connections to the Grey Rat family, or he may be targeted again. Rudy begins teaching math, magic, and reading to Eris and Ghislaine, while Ghislaine teaches the two.
He's reading to Eris. He's reading to her, to this mommy over here,
again.
To this absolute pile of tits and abs.
Begins teaching math, magic, and reading to Eris and Ghislaine, while Ghislaine teaches the two.
God damn! Just every time she's on screen, I know why people like this show. Like, I was like, it's generic. Why are people? No, I get it. I understand the appeal. Don't get me wrong.
To swordsmanship. Eris is a much more capable swordsman than Rudy, and is actually very impressive for her age.
Oh God.
She's not that keenly interested in other stuff, however. Rudy is at an impasse on how
other stuff. Damn it, she doesn't even want to sleep with him? Aw, man.
How to make her interested in this stuff, and asks Ghislaine to motivate her. Ghislaine tells a story about her days as an adventurer when she felt quite inferior to others because she couldn't count.
No. Why does every single character in this show have they're all badasses, they're all awesome, and they have one incredibly, hugely glaring flaw?
Rudy then decides to give Eris a day off every week to keep her motivated to learn. On her day off, Rudy goes along with Eris and Ghislaine to take a tour of the market. Rudy being the pervert, he is interested in an
okay, alright, it's
aphrodisiac.
Bro, she's not wearing a bra. She is wearing band-aids on her nipples. Holy shit, brother. Like, god damn. Whoever came up with this outfit, Lord, they did not want me monetized on YouTube.
Eris tries to buy it for him, but he requests it from her if she buys it from her own allowance. Eris then asks him what an allowance is, and later on asks Philip for it. Philip agrees, and Eris buys that.
Yo, she teaches her what an allowance is. What a goddamn bitch. I hire one student to teach my kid, and suddenly my kid wants my money? Damn.
Vial for Rudy as a gift. However, Rudy is flustered.
As a gift, they bought him an aphrodisiac?
Since he can't tell him what it is. As the 10th birthday of Eris draws closer.
The 10th birthday of Eris? No.
Rudy gives a part of his lesson time to a dance tutor so that Eris could learn to dance with the nobles at the huge party that's gonna be arranged for her birthday. In the meantime, Rudy gets some free time, so he sees some books that he cannot understand.
Let's go.
He finds out that they are all written in the demon tongue. So Rudy writes a letter to Roxy asking for her help, as she herself is from the demon continent. Rudy makes a lot of progress in learning the demon tongue, and is now able to read a bit from all those books.
Damn, so there actually is a lot of lore and evolution going on to the actual story. It's not just, you know, jumping from bosom to bosom, as it were.
At the party, Eris tries to dance with a noble kid, but fails to do it and falls down. Rudy then steps up, takes her hand, and tells her to relax. And they both perform a splendid dance in front of everybody.
That's pretty splendid.
Eris thanks Rudy for his contribution. In the end, Rudy sees Eris' grandfather's sorrows. He comments on the strange ball of light in the sky and is afraid that it might be an ominous sign.
You mean the giant radiating orb in the sky is an ominous sign? Damn, damn!
2 years pass by, and Eris, along with her family, celebrates Rudy's 10th birthday.
Dude, Rudy's now 10? What the hell, man? Oh my god, he was 8 until now?
Rudius is bummed out about the fact that his own family could not attend because Paul is busy cleaning up the monsters that are roaming around in the country.
Yeah, this Paul, fuck.
The first time we actually hear of him working. However, Rudy celebrates his birthday and receives a brand new top-tier magic staff from Eris, and is really thankful to her for it.
Let's go.
Philip wants Rudy to marry Eris and succeed him in his family line, but Rudy rejects the offer. We all know he really wanted to accept that. The next day, a huge dark cloud appears across the continent.
Oh, that's not bad. Rudy, they're cousins, by the way. Listen, cousins, it's not so bad. I'm gonna say cousins getting married in like medieval times was not weird. So like, you know, all right, whatever. I could give it a pass. Listen, it's acceptable. It's okay. All right, whatever.
Eris go out in the wild for Rudy to test out his new
Wait, that orb thing was in the sky for the last 2 years?
staff. However, a man named Ironvertex attacks Rudy since he has a misunderstanding that Rudy is the reason these dark clouds have appeared.
Ooh, that guy's gonna
Lane
be
clears
sick.
up the misunderstanding and Ironvertex goes back. So Rudy
Man, what's his name? Erumanfi?
continues his
Goddamn.
demonstration, but a massive burst of light engulfs them all as Rudy shields Eris from the impact. Rudy is back to his old self in a place that's filled with white mist.
Oh, no, no! Otaku jump scare.
Rudy thinks that he must have dreamt all of his 10 years of life
Why'd I
up till
even
now.
think of that?
There meets a very weird-looking person who calls himself Man God.
Oh.
He tells him that
Dude, why do isekai anime always have that weird god jump scare that just shows up every once in a while?
he has been observing him for a very long time.
I have been observing you for a while. I'm impressed by the amount of breasts you fondled as a child. Very impressive.
And that he only wants to help him.
God, look how white this god is. Uncle Ruckus would approve.
He tells him to help the man he sees right after he wakes up if he wants to survive. Rudy then wakes up and meets a man named Rudyard Superdia from
Oh God, he has the gem thing in his forehead. Foreshadowing.
the scary and bloodthirsty demon race, the Superds. Rudyard tells them that he's not hostile and that he will escort them through the demon continent.
Let's go.
Later, Eris wakes up and gets
Oh my God, average tsundere in an isekai anime. Look at that expression. God damn, I feel like I've seen this expression everywhere.
extremely scared after she sees Rudyard. The man must be really used to this reaction by now. After some convincing, Rudyard takes the duo to the nearby Migridia village. The village happens to be
Ah, there's the racism. Dude, there needs to be some racism in isekai anime. If it's not racist, it's not isekai. You're right, you're
Roxy's
right.
birthplace. During their stay, Rudyard tells them that it was demon god Laplace who gave the Superds their cursed spears, turning them all into mindless murderers.
That's rough.
He further tells them that the spear he is holding now belonged to his son, whose death
Oh man, that is so sad. What?
brought Rudyard to his senses. Rudyard wants to help these two children because he thinks that's his way to atone for his sins. The trio departs from their village and begins its journey through the demon continent. As they are about to leave, Rudy tells Roxy's parents that he would one day come there as the husband of their daughter.
Let's go. Did he tell Roxy about this? Or kid's 10 years old, man.
Rudyard and Eris arrive at the village of Rikarisu. However, they would need to do something.
Yo, I like how the party keeps changing also. Like, I'm glad that it's not the typical isekai harem that, you know, he has like his one girl and then he adds another one to the harem and another one. Then it ends up him and like 16 girls. And it's like, all right. And they're just always around being dragged around from place to place. And it's like, listen, he cannot travel anywhere without his 32 boobs at his side, you know? And I like that the party's changing around here. You know, time's actually moving forward. Time is actually evolving.
About Rudyard first. So Rudy dyes his hair blue to disguise him as one of the Migridia tribe. They enter the city and then enroll in a guild to gather money for their journey.
Did he say Rudy dyes his hair blue?
Migridia
Oh, dyes the other guy's hair blue. Got it.
They enter the city and then enroll in a guild to
Bro, what is this hair? Oh, they gave her cat ears. Oh.
gather money for their journey. Rudy names his team Dead End and aims to get out of the city as soon as possible.
Dead End.
However, he cannot do it since their ranking is too low to fetch them some actual good money. A man god tells Rudy to take on the Find a Lost Pet mission. On this mission, they find a party that kidnaps people. Rudyard kills one of the people from that party and Rudy
That's
reprimands him for that. He tells him to promise him that he won't kill anybody.
Oh, damn.
Rudy then tells the other
Dude, Rudy commanded respect at the old age of 10. God damn.
two members to take on dangerous missions so that Rudy and the others can succeed in getting enough money for their expenses. After the Mana Surge way back in Fitoa, everyone from Rudy's original family is scattered around the world.
That sucks.
Meanwhile,
That's actually cool, though, that time is actually moving on.
Rudy and the others pick up a quest to slay a beast.
All right.
They meet up with others in the forest and decide to have a go at the monster together. The
Nice.
monster appears and it's really strong.
That
Rudy
sucks.
flinches in the face of the danger and it costs the life of one of the other party members.
Oh, damn.
Later on, as Rudy is about to die, Rudyard saves him, and then he and
Bruh.
Eris slay the monster. Rudyard then gets angry about Rudy waiting for a chance, and he apologizes.
True.
A guy then finds out about Rudy's plan to other party members
about
for
that.
more dangerous missions
happened.
and wants to expose them. Rudyard reveals his identity to him and intimidates him so that he won't leak the information.
Oh!
After a while, the company departs from
The
the village
reveal!
and sets its sights on a coastal city near the edge of the continent. Rudy and Rudyard settle aside their differences, and Rudyard accepts Rudy as a warrior instead of a child.
Let's go.
Rudyard shaves his
Wholesome.
hair too to completely avoid any suspicion whatsoever.
Andrew Tate, let's go. Top G over here.
Rudy and the others arrive at a coastal city that has a port. Roxy and some others also arrive.
Yo, we meet her up with her again. That's so wholesome.
In the same city on a boat. Roxy is also looking for Paul's missing family. She sees the posters of the popularity of Dead End, but Rudy is written as Kennel Master there. So Roxy doesn't recognize him. Later on, Rudy is guided by the man god to buy food and
Oh my god, the god comes back. How many times does this man need to be guided? This is just the cheat codes.
Pass through a specific street. Rudy passes through that street and gives food to a bit too lightly dressed lowly.
Now I see why this show is, everyone talks about this show and is like, oh, Mushoku Tensei? You mean a one-way ticket to prison? Oh, interesting. I get it.
She tells him that she is the renowned demon empress Kashirika.
Sure.
She thanks Rudy by giving him a
Fuck, look at this face she's making. Oh my, that's the demon lord? Sure, it's the demon lord. Sure, fun fact, she's married. That doesn't make it any better.
Demon eye that can see a bit into the future, leading Rudy to save a guy who almost had an accident. Later that day, Rudy tells the others about these events and he takes a few days alone to get used to his new vision.
Whoa, so he keeps that crazy eye power after this is all done? That's wild.
When he is used to it, he spars with Eris and completely destroys her in hand-to-hand combat.
They really needed to make my boy overpowered, didn't they? He's like, listen, I'm good at magic, but I suck at hand-to-hand combat. Don't worry, we'll give you a Sharingan so that even at hand-to-hand combat, you'll be awesome.
Something that seemed too far-fetched to be true.
God, what?
Rudy tried.
Oh. I just got so debated. What just happened? Hold on. I just got so debated.
He is alone to get used to his new vision. When he is used to it, he spars with Eris and completely destroys her in hand-to-hand combat, something that seemed too far-fetched to be true. Rudy tries to book the tickets to the central continent, but since Ruger is a supered, the fee to transport him is very high. Rudy wonders if he should sell his staff, but Ruger tells him not to do it since it would hurt Eris' feelings.
And feelings are what matters in this scenario. I'm glad finally someone understands the worth and value of that.
In the end, a man named Gallus appears with an offer. Roxy looks everywhere for Paul's family and finds nothing while one of his partners seems to have other plans. Roxy looks all around and finds nothing. She comes across Eris and Ruger sparring but thinks that they are both supereds and runs away. Meanwhile,
racism! Let's go! Common racism! L, baby!
Gallus offers to smuggle Ruger alongside him if Rudy liberates some goods for him on the other side of the sea. When Rudy reaches the other side, he realizes that he is supposed to liberate
slave animal girls. Let's go. I think we've hit every nail now. At this point, are we missing anything? Are we missing anything from our incredible, our cursed Isekai bingo card? Is the cursed Isekai bingo card done? Because if we didn't have enslaved animal girls, is it even an Isekai anymore?
Beast children being held by smugglers.
Yo, you know what he should do? He should just free the hottest one.
Rudy gets angry and liberates them all with the help of an extremely angry Ruger.
Let's go.
On his way, Rudy finds the
Ruger's kind of badass. What?
Cutest thing on the show, a magic dog. He frees it, but the local beast men who came to free their children think Rudy is one of the smugglers and take him captive.
And take it. Why would they make the child naked? Why would you take the kid's clothes away, man? Come on, bro. Stop it. This isn't fan service. What's going on?
Rudy is captured in Doldia village and is quite literally stripped naked of all his belongings.
Oh my god.
He jokes that it might awaken something inside him. He can easily break out of the cell anytime he wants to, but he doesn't, as he doesn't want to attack.
Look at this world building, though. Look at this city. This is so unlike what we've seen before. Damn, that's awesome.
Agonize the villagers. He instead decides to wait for Ruger and Eris. Rudy is later joined by Geese, another human prisoner who did something to offend them. Geese calls Rudy his senpai and they both discuss how beast women are cute.
Oh my god! But hold on.
To offend them.
Why'd they leave him with his clothes? They only... Bro, they literally just stripped the child naked.
Geese calls Rudy his senpai and they both discuss how beast women are cute. Truly master and student.
Bro, beast women, bro, they even gave them side boob. Damn, son. Honestly, based.
The village is later attacked and burned by Gallus and his...
Oh my god!
And his men. Rudy and Geese escape captivity, but Rudy decides to help the villagers instead.
Yo, this is like the typical Isekai protagonist move, but it's so good every time.
Rudy uses his sacred water magic to put out the fire, and then tries to fight Gallus. But Gallus proves himself to be a worthy opponent.
Oh, damn.
The magic
Gallus guy's actually good? What?
Dog and Geese help him in defeating Gallus once and for all. Rudyard and Eris
Damn, I thought that guy was just kind of a loser, but damn.
Come to the village and tell Rudy that they were delayed because they were wiping out the rest of the smugglers.
We were so
the
worried
villagers
about
thank
you.
Rudy and apologize.
We couldn't thank you enough. We're so sorry for stripping you naked and locking you in a cage, even though you're a child and you were actually good to us. Please, have sex with all of our women.
Apologize for everything they've done to him. Back at Vtube, Eris' grandfather...
Damn, look at his mustache. This guy is a bad guy. No one with a mustache this thin is a good guy.
...is blamed for everything that happened in the Mana Surge and is executed before the king.
Bro! Oh my god!
As the rainy season starts, Rudy and others have no choice but to stay in Doldia village and pass their time idly. Eris befriends a girl named Tona, who is the daughter of Guys, the village's best warrior.
Sure.
Seeing as they all are beast warriors, Eris mentions Ghislaine and everyone is shocked.
Ghislaine? You know her? She's known for having the two most voluptuous bosoms in the entire land.
They all have a very negative view of Ghislaine and
never mind.
Say that she abandoned her home for an adventure. Eris tries to defend her, but she soon stops as she thinks it's useless. Tona, who was never interested in sword fighting, asks Eris to teach her. Eris happily agrees and the two become the best of friends. Guise tells everyone that he feels responsible as Ghislaine was very rebellious in her childhood years and that's why the villagers decided it was best if she left with some adventurers and that—
Wait, did they banish her?
That's exactly what happened.
Oh man.
Guise hitch a ride with our trio and they all depart. The gang reaches the capital city of Millis and splits up with Guise as he tells them that he has some business to attend to.
Okay, no one will miss this
Rudy
guy.
tells everyone to take a day off and do their own thing.
Who put this kid in charge?
As Rudy is out alone, he follows some people who appear to be kidnappers and tries to save a cat girl and some others.
A cat girl and some others. Why didn't he just say some people?
He wouldn't have done it for cat boys though. Rudy tries—
He wouldn't have done it for cat boys though? What? Narrator going wild.
Is to save them, but is intercepted by a really skilled swordsman. The swordsman is revealed to be Paul as he recognizes Rudy.
What?
Paul, now a drunkard, completely devastated and tired, takes Rudy to a bar.
Bro, damn, man fell off. I guess cheaters deserve that shit. What can I say?
Everyone else from his party was staying at. All of them were victims of the Mana Surge and were looking for their families.
Wait, this dude took his 10-year-old son to a bar.
Paul asks Rudy if he was safe, then why did he not write about it or try to look for any of the other surviving members. Rudy has no answer to that as he was too busy surviving himself. He doesn't want to worry Paul, so he tells him about his adventures in a happy tone. Paul misinterprets it all and they both start fighting.
Oh my god! Average dad moment, I guess.
Norn interrupts the fight and everyone starts to give weird looks to Rudius. Rudy runs away from the place as everybody shunning him reveals memories of his past and he can't bear any of them.
No way! This man really has more trauma from being a nerd in high school than from being tortured in this show?
Seeing Rudy so unusually depressed and out of it, Eris tries to console him.
What did he mean by that?
Guise confronts Paul and apparently has known him for many years.
Norn is Rudy's sister? Got it.
He tells him that he was wrong in that fight. He tells him that surviving the demon continent is no joke and that you should be happy Rudy is alive instead of blaming a 10-year-old child for not thinking of others before saving himself.
Common Dad L.
That's a sound argument until you realize he is not really 10. Paul says that it's exactly because Rudy is so talented that he expected a lot from him. Guise then tells him that if he didn't want to be reunited with his son in this way, that he'd want to see a limbless, lifeless husk of a human being who he was sure wouldn't live much longer. Paul has nightmares imagining that scenario and decides to go apologize to Rudy. Paul and Rudy sit in a bar and Rudy realizes that Paul is trying to apologize, but he doesn't know how to handle
dads and apologizing. Name a worse couple.
That situation either, so the atmosphere is really awkward. But in the end, they both have some heart-to-heart and are finally able to reconcile. Rudy tells him that he would look for his family once he drops Eris home. Paul then visits Rudy's inn and Eris is ready to have a go at Paul for hurting Rudy. Rudy tells her that they have made up. He also tells them that they don't need to stay in any town anymore as they have a permit from a night and a lot of travel money for the remainder of their adventure.
Money! Woo! Money!
Paul also thanks Rudyard for protecting his child, and they all have an emotional farewell. In the end, Guise is revealed to have
brother. Oh my god, she has an avalanche coming off of her chest.
Been searching for Paul's family already and is still planning to do so in the part of the continent that nobody has done yet. On the other side of the continent, Roxy visits her home village Migurdia.
Yo, turtle shells, that's so cute. I love how every village has its own style in this. Like, they do a really good job with the world building, I'm not gonna lie.
It's revealed that her tribe talks with telepathy and that she is one of the very few odd ones who cannot use it. Roxy hasn't come home in many years and her parents really missed her. She tries to leave since they are still awkward around one another, but decides to stay in the end. They also tell her that Rudy has visited the village 2 years ago.
Damn! Are they also gonna tell her that Rudy promised to marry her without asking her first? Because that would be weird.
Roxy is relieved that he is safe.
Oh, that is the face of relief. Me when I'm relieved.
In the end, she once again departs, with her party to go look for Paul's family across the demon continent. Rudy once again has a dream where he meets Man God. Man God tells him a way to see Lilia and Aisha again. Rudy is really happy upon hearing these names and decides to once again follow Man God's advice. Upon reaching the kingdom of Chiron, Rudy remembers that Roxy was stationed—
Dude, I love this. I'm actually gonna watch this show. They actually did a good job. I am not even gonna lie to you.
He writes a letter to her and posts it. Later on, he encounters Aisha and saves her from some pursuers. Rudy does not reveal his name to Aisha, following the Man God's instructions.
Bro, is there any girl in this show that's aged like between 18 and 30? Why are they all either MILFs or freaking children? I don't understand. I don't understand.
Aisha, who that letter was for. Aisha tells him that it's a letter to her father as she needs to save herself and her mother who is trapped in a castle.
Oh, that sucks.
She also calls her brother a complete no-good pervert since she saw the box that had Roxy's panties.
Could you imagine your older sibling who's known to be pretty awesome and he's on an adventure somewhere across the world and you have only one thing of his that he left behind, panties of his teacher.
Despite being embarrassed, Rudy tells her that he would help her and gives her to Rudyard and Eris to keep under protection as he goes to the castle by Roxy's summons. Rudy is captured by the castle guards as this is a trap.
Oh no!
He finds out that Roxy—
oh my god, look at this
is
guy.
not here.
Look at this man, look at this king, this dumpling ass head looking dude. This dude who had to play Starfield and start complaining that they asked him for his pronouns.
And Prince Pax is holding Lilia hostage.
Oh, that sucks. Oh, average woman in an isekai, I guess. Go.
Roxy left a long while ago and Pax plans to use Rudy as bait for dragging her back to him since Roxy kept fanboying over Rudy when she was teaching Pax. Rudy is kept in a magic cell where all of his magic gets absorbed and nullified.
That sucks.
Rudy is met by Zenoba, the third—
oh my god! This man is the worst haircut I've ever seen!
Prince of Chiron, who asks him where he bought the Rudyard figure inside his bag. He tells him that he made it, and as soon as that happens, Zenoba starts fanboying over him and tells him that he's a really—
this guy's a good guy?
big fan of Rudy, since he has a Roxy figure that Rudy had made quite a while back.
Oh my fucking god, he's a weirdo. He's a weirdo. He's a nutcase. He's just another simp. Oh no.
Meanwhile, Eris and Rudyard are being smuggled into the castle by the guards as a few hours ago. They came to ask for their help since their families are being held captive by Pax.
Makes sense.
They see Zenoba walking towards something as they are sneaking into the castle. Aisha reveals that Zenoba is a blessed child and has superhuman strength.
Let's go.
Zenoba brings Pax in front—
oh my god, this dude. Holy cow, this guy's actually kind of goated. What the frick?
of Rudy and forces him to listen to everything Rudy says. The guards also drop their weapons as soon as they hear that their families are safe. Everything goes smoothly.
Wait, so this man was just ruling over them through threatening each of them? Yeah, that won't fall apart.
As Lilia and Aisha are arranged to be taken home.
Dude out here with his jar collection, collecting all these figurines.
Lilia hugs Rudy and tells him that she missed him. They both have
yeah, sure you do.
heartfelt combo, and Lilia gives Rudy a necklace that Sylphie had made for him on his 10th birthday.
Aw, that's
As they are
awesome.
departing, Rudy gives the necklace that Roxy gave him to Aisha to keep as a keepsake of him.
And I'll have you know, you see this black cloth? It actually was the panties of someone that's very dear to me.
As they turn their heads, Aisha pokes out of the window and tells Rudy that she's sorry for calling him a pervert, which—
why? It's true!
means that she knew who he was all along. On their journey through a cave, the trio encounters dragon god Orsted. Completely
oh god, with a name like Dragon God, man's gotta be
paralyzed by fear, Eris and Rudyard can't move while Rudy is unfazed. They try to warn him, but he doesn't listen. Orsted thinks that Rudy is an apostle of the man god and attacks him.
Oh,
he makes quick work of—
this man god dude that Rudy keeps having all these visions with is actually a canon character in this verse? I thought it was like a much more personalized deity, like in all the other isekais.
Rudyard and Eris. He then proceeds to wound Rudy, but is surprised that he
can
cast such powerful magic.
Dude is broken.
Incantations. He says that he might be on the level of Laplace and gives him a fatal blow. Before dying, Rudy meets the man god once again, who tells him that he would have foretold him about Orsted if he wasn't free from his vision. He also tells him that since Laplace had green hair, Rudyard's curse was because of that. He also tells him that it's not lifted for the most part as he has shaved his hair. Rudy thanks the man god for everything he has done, even though he doesn't know what his intentions are, and prepares to go to the afterlife. However, Rudy wakes up in the land of the living as Nanahashi. The girl at
Wait, what?
Orsted's side chipped in and helped him live by convincing Orsted that he was not a threat.
Hold up, what just happened? I am so confused. I feel like either they didn't explain it very well or my brain is too wrinkled from watching Adventure Time.
Go to the afterlife. However, Rudy wakes up in the land of the living as Nanahashi.
What does that mean, he wakes up as Nanahashi? What does that mean?
The girl at Orsted's side chipped in and helped him live by convincing Orsted that he was not a threat.
Oh god.
After waking up, Rudy explains the whole man-god situation to Ruijerd and tells him about the curse on him fading away. The next day, Rudy reaches his hometown and gets a really nostalgic feel from it. He goes on a trip down the memory lane as Ruijerd says his farewell to the kids. He tells them that both of them are not children anymore and don't need protection. Eris is unwilling to let him go, but comes to terms with it, and they both say an emotional farewell full of tears to Ruijerd.
Bye,
Later
Ruijerd.
on, the duo finally
we loved your journey with them.
reaches Ro. The city is in ruins, and both of Eris' parents
Yo, let's go, mommy! I mean, character who don't know much
are
about.
dead. One of the branch families of Greyrad's offered to marry her, but Ghislaine is against this idea. Eris doesn't give any reply, and later at night visits Rudy's tent.
Oh
this
god.
only means one
oh god. Oh no. Oh god.
thing, and this time it's exactly that.
Yes, Rudy is about to become a man.
She's there to have sex with Rudy, who tries to refuse her since she's not thinking clearly because of all the sadness. But Rudy is unable to stop himself as she tells him to settle.
Wow, that's a bit of a red flag.
He's not thinking clearly because of all the sadness.
Dude, it's his cousin. This is his cousin, right? Oh no, it's his cousin.
Have sex with Rudy, who tries to refuse her since she's
Wait, she's like, let's have sex. I know you're sad. And he's like, no, I'm too sad. And then fucks her.
not thinking clearly because of all the sadness.
Sure.
But Rudy is unable to stop himself as she tells him to
Oh my god, it really goes at it.
this kitten. No one would blame Rudy after this. The next day, Rudy wakes up really happy because of what happened last night, but is shocked to find out that
Whoa! He got Barney Stinsoned!
Eris and Ghislaine have disappeared somewhere. Rudy goes into depression and completely secludes himself from everything.
He's like, goddamn, I got one taste of vagina. And then it left! And thus begins the erectile dysfunction arc.
He spends his days loitering away as he's all alone and has many flashbacks to his old days in his previous life.
Damn.
Meanwhile, Eris is on a journey with Ghislaine now to get strong so that she can beat Orsted and protect Rudy as she loves him.
That's crazy.
Ruijerd rescues some people from beasts and tells them that he is a supered, but they don't seem to be scared of him and still praise him for his heroics.
Okay.
Geese and Zenoba are on their own journeys as they think fondly
Oh my god, my dude out here still with his jars.
about Rudy. Keys and Tona keep up their swords fighting training. Roxy encounters Kashirika and pays her tab in yet another act of naive innocence.
Oh no.
She asks Kashirika about the whereabouts of Paul's family and finds out that
this Demon Lord Lolly is wild.
Lilia and Aisha have successfully reunited with Norn and Paul.
That's wholesome, I guess.
While Zenith is located somewhere in the labyrinth city of Rapan on the Begarit continent.
What?
Roxy thanks her for all this information and departs with her party towards Zenith as soon as she can.
That's crazy.
Rudy
Wait, so Roxy and Rudy really didn't meet up for the entire show, aside from literally right in the beginning.
Flashback to his old life at home and remembers that in a very beautiful way, Zenith told him that she loves him. Rudy wakes up after this, takes a step forward, and goes out in the open to save Zenith.
That's crazy. And that's where season 1 wraps up. And that's why season 2 is like the depression arc that everyone keeps talking about how he's all depressed and stuff in season 2. Damn, that actually was kind of great. I'm not even gonna lie. I really liked that a lot. Like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch. Stay weird, fam.